Hello everyone. So in the previous session we have just make the lights and just adjust it. So in this session we will make some more modification in this scene. So let's start it. What I will do, I will just go to this part which is the perspective, and if I press 7 then it will pop the lights. Now if you can see this part, we need a mesh light to be just glow, because if you just see your render file, what you will get, okay, I will just off this, will go to the render setting and will go to render and will change all the data by 1. So if I just select the render file, if I go to the render data, this part is getting darker, but still there is light. So we just want to glow this part, and also we will put one box here in this area so that it may glow quite well. And here we have a seam, so we'll just remove this particular part and let's start work. So what I will do, we'll go to the perspective. We are in you can say we are in wireframe mode, and will zoom in this particular focus by pressing F. And what I will do, I will go to press 6, select this part, and in Arnold tab, or you can go from the top, here we have the lights and here you have the mesh lights. So this thing is there. So if I click over here, now it transformed to mesh light. Now if you go to mesh light and have a render, what you are getting? You are getting nothing. See, this is not there. So we have to just modify it. Okay, so what we will do, we'll just select this part, go to attribute editor, and here you have the property feature of mesh light. So at first go to the light visible and increase your intensity. So I will increase by 15 and will change the color. So I think little bit of warmer. Let's have a look. So as you can see, it's quite like spreading in the whole area. So if you decrease the intensity by 10, what happens? Yeah, okay, this is fine. Now for more bounciness and a circular type of look, I will just apply one more light which is by default present in Maya, and this is the point light. Click over here and just make a new point light, just move it like this and just move it inside it. So we have just moved inside it and we have just situated the point light here, and I think we'll just change the color to like this and just have a look. As you can see, it's bouncing quite well and also producing some amount of shadow here. As you can see, it's also producing some amount of shadow here. So now what we will do, we'll do one more thing. If I rendered this particular section, we get little bit of problems, which is we want a particular light here which will take the color of this and will also remove this section, because it's getting weird, and also it's not good in this place because it is look something wrong. So we will just change this and we'll just put a box, and after that we'll render the same data. So I'm going to the wireframe, press 4, and what I will do now, I just go to polymodeling and I will just create a box. As you can see, the box has been created here. Press F for focus that particular section. So I will press R and will increase the size little bit. Okay, so I think this would be fine, and I will just go and just put it over here. We'll zoom that particular section. So I need my box to be somehow here, and I will just put here. Make sure that you're saving your file, so I will save scene as, and we'll go to desktop, and here we have the interior. Now I will say save by 004 and save as, continue. Now I just make the box, and what I will do, I will just go to 6 and just select this part and go to the Arnold tab, and here we have the mesh light. So we just make the mesh light, and I will change the color by little bit of blueness and will increase the intensity by 12. And also we will do one more thing which is very important, light visible. So if I see here what we are getting, let's see. Yeah, as you see, it's getting quite bounced, and I think we have to reduce the size. Yeah, I think, and we have to just increase its intensity also. So intensity would be, I think, 25, fine, and just reduce the size a little bit because it's going outward. I think it's going outward, so let's have a look. Yeah, it's working quite well. As you can see here, we have the bounciness. And now one more thing is that we have to just work in this particular section. So we'll work in this section, and I will just render this image as in PNG, or you can also render it in EXR. So in PNG we will just have this area to be transparent, and in compositing software I will just put some amount of painting and all, or even the outside world. So we'll just grab this data to compositing software, and we will do some tweaking inside this particular pic. So okay, now what we will do, we'll do one more thing, is that we just have to just focus in this part, and it is this thing, that's the photo frame. So we will just put some photo, take the face, okay, and assign new material, and I think we have to put the AI standard surface. And so in color I just put a image, so file, and go over here. If I have the image, okay, I put the image of this particular thing, and it's not showing, but it may show in the render. And do one more thing, reverse. Now it's showing, but still we have problem. We'll select the face, go to UV, automatic, and now it's the problem gets solved. We have used the planar mapping. Okay, so now we have to just focus on the top light. So what we will do, as you can see, the light is getting so much of outside the home, so we'll just decrease the size, as I will go to 4, and we'll move somehow over here. Okay, and for this also we'll move. Okay, I think this can work quite well. So now let's have a look. As you can see, the problem gets short outed, and now I will do a render. And also there is a problem, I think. We have to change the border color because it's matching so much. So what we will do, we'll just change the border color. We'll press 5, we'll select this part, press F, go to 6, right click, assign new material. No, at first we have to just select the faces one by one, assign new material, and here you have the shader which is inside Arnold, and here you have the AI standard surface, and in standard surface you have the color. So at first I have to just delete the history and Ctrl S, continue, and now we'll just have a test render. I think it's fine, it's quite fine as compared to the previous one. So one more thing, if I go to my window and here you have the outliner, so you have to group all the things, so that I will just select the lights only by shift selecting, Ctrl G for group, and rename this as lights. Okay, now already we have grouped this model and all, and these are the camera, these are the default light which is present by default in Maya. And now one more thing is that we have to go to render settings, and now it should be around 9, diffuse should be around 3 or 4, specular should be around 3, transmission should be 3, surface scattering 4, and volume indirect would be 3. Okay, and ray depth, each and everything is fine. I think each and everything is fine, and we'll cut the same. Make sure that you're saving your file, and we'll make a new version. So we'll make a new version. And one more thing is that when you go to your render setting, and here you get the common, and in common where you have the image format, so I will change it to PNG, and after that here you have the image size which is preset by default, it is HD 540. So I will just take this as in 1080p, or even you can work in 720, but I think you can work in 1080p because it's a full HD, and you can also work in 4 times HD which is 4K. So I will just put 1080p and I will just render it, and now I will show you the rendered data. So we'll just pause this video and I will just show you the rendered data. Okay, hello everyone. So as you can see that we have rendered the image, and you have all the things like your bounciness, it's getting cut off because the light which is just beside the wall, and it's producing a soft kind of, you can say, shadow, and this shadow is soft as compared to this one, and the top part is getting soft bounciness, and this part also having soft glow and all. It's also spreading its light, and we have just tweaked it because we have just put Omni in them, which is point light. And as you can if you can look at this particular section covered, and what you're getting, it's also just producing soft kind of shadow. Now you can take this image and just go to the compositing software like Fusion and Nuke and do the color correction and all. And if you want PNG, that would be better, or EXR, because this thing will not come like black, and you can put some background thing to avoid it. And also you have the exposure setting. If you can work with the exposure, that would be fine. As you can see, both the lights are open now. If you just grab this like, and after that if you want to just put some brightness, you can just work with the exposure, and not so too much, because otherwise it will ruin the whole scene. So like this way you can work quite well. And now you have the idea how you can change and how you can just do work with your proper lighting and just have the parameters and all. So as we have discussed that it's very you can say very different as compared to your render screen. So it's not possible to show everything in render, otherwise your system will not run smoothly. So whatever you want to do, just go to wireframe mode and just do all the things, and after that if you're satisfied with your result, just go to the render view and have the values to be put like the not so higher value, but yes. And one more thing is that now it's time for you to do something like model, and after that just put some normal texture and just render the same. So and after that you just have to work with the attribute editor and all for the parameters, and yeah, exactly. So like this way you can work with your lights. You have to play with intensity, and also you have to look at the proper casting shadows. And as you see in this image, none of the shadow is harder, so each and every shadow is lighter, softer. So like this way you just put some softer shadow in the interior, and also you can put some harder shadow in the exterior. Hope you enjoyed the same. Thank you.